for the third straight year, Ohio State doesn't get invited to the big dance.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a bonus episode of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. And during this Hardwood Huddle, we'll discuss if this should be a turning point for the basketball program, because for the third straight year, Ohio State doesn't get invited to the NCAA tournament, and they're waiting to figure out if they're going to be in the NIT, if they're going to be in the Crown, or if they're just going to end their season altogether, which is a bad place to be if you're the Buckeyes. Ohio State's a program that's respected all around the country, but for some reason over the past few years, Ohio State has struggled to make it into the ultimate tournament. That should be the end-all, be-all every single year, something that should be a goal that should be easy to achieve is to be in the field of 68. It doesn't seem really hard for me to think about Ohio State, the caliber of program that they are, the history with the program, the amount of talent that's simply in the state of Ohio. It shouldn't be hard for Ohio State to be in the field of 68. But for some reason, it has been. The final year and a half of Holtmann, and then last year when Diebler was the interim head coach, this year, first year under Diebler, this team has not gotten it done. And it could be a reason why they maybe didn't make the tournament was maybe they were snubbed by the committee. Ohio State has a third best net rating out of the teams that were in the last four in category and the first four out category. North Carolina has a net rating of 36. They were in. Texas, a net ranking of 39. They were in. Ohio State, a net ranking of 41. They were out. Boise State, 44. They were out. The last two teams that were in the last four in category, Xavier had a net ranking of 45. San Diego State had a net ranking of 52. Now, when you hear those numbers, you may say, Jay, by the mere metric that the committee uses, they should have put Ohio State in based off that. Yes. But also recently, I think it's Dave Gavitt, who is a part of the NCAA. He was on an interview, and he discussed the encouragement of the committee that he was giving to the committee to not use recency bias while trying to fill the field of 68. You know, that the teams that win their conference tournament championships, they get an automatic bid, which leaves there's numerous at-large bids. We're creatures of habit, but we are also creatures of what have you done for me lately? And Ohio State wet the bed at the end of the season, losing 5 of their last 7 games. I understand what the net ranking is. They had a losing record in quad 1 games, a losing record in quad 2 games. I think when you go away from the quad 1 and quad 2 records of 6-11 in quad 1 games and 3-4 in quad 2 games, even if you go away from that, wetting the bed at the end of the season, that's enough for me. If I'm on that committee, I know Ohio State's building that bubble. They've been right there. Maybe they hadn't been. All of a sudden, they're a team that's on the bubble and not getting it done, even in the first game of the conference tournament, losing to Indiana, the last game of the regular season, a team that Ohio State is probably even with on most days, but on that day, they didn't bring a good enough formula to win that game. That's where we are with Ohio State basketball. For the first time since between the 03 season to the 05 season, that's the last time Ohio State missed a tournament in 3 years in a row. The 03 season was the last year under Jim O'Brien, and then 04 and 05 were the first couple of tournament seasons that model was at Ohio State. I completely forgot about Jim O'Brien. I hadn't thought about that name in college, at least, for a very long time. But that's how long it's been. Now, here's what's interesting about this time period for Ohio State basketball. There was a belief that the tournament appearances are going to happen this year. You're getting away from Holtmann, and even the last couple of years of Holtmann, you kind of realized a new voice needed to be there in the locker room. So Holtmann's gone. You fire him in the middle of the season. Diebler is on his staff. He's the interim head coach, has a lot of belief. Ohio State goes on the road last year, and Mackey and beats Purdue. And I'm sitting here thinking, wow, this guy might be able to get it done. But maybe this is not the program, or maybe the time isn't right for a first-year head coach to be at Ohio State. Playing at the other side of the fence here of the formula, Diebler had to deal with a lot this year. An FBI investigation? Whoever would have thought that was going to happen? Michi Johnson transferring back to Ohio State and then being away from the team? Who would have thought that was going to happen? Injuries and this and that happens. There are a lot of things he dealt with in the first year of him being a head coach that were unthinkable, but that played into the formula for the year. I said something recently about energy and effort. And the things we thought we were going to get under Diebler at the beginning of the season, as the season kept going on and moving into late January into February, those things weren't apparent on the court when Diebler was coaching for the full 40 minutes. We'll dive into that next, because I think those two things are very pivotal for the basketball program to utilize those things moving forward so the Buckeyes make the tournament next season. This episode is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Your home should reflect your style, and with Wayfair, it's easier than ever to make that happen. Whether you're looking for a simple refresh or tackling a big home project, Wayfair has everything you need in one place. Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find the perfect piece, no matter your space or budget. From cozy furniture and stylish decor to kitchen essentials and outdoor must-haves, Wayfair has it all, and at prices that fit your budget. I was looking for a new rug to tie my living room together, and Wayfair had so many stylish options at great prices. I was surprised to find everything from storage solutions to patio decor, making it my go-to for all things home. Head over to Wayfair.com and find something that's just your style today. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Thank you all for tapping Locked on Buckeyes and making this show a part of your evening on a Sunday after Ohio State didn't receive an invitation to the NCAA tournament for the third consecutive year. And that should annoy all Ohio State athletic fans. I don't care if you're a football-heavy person, you don't care about the basketball team. I don't care if you're a basketball-heavy person, you don't care about the football team. I don't care if you're a hockey person or a baseball person or tennis. It doesn't matter to me. Ohio State athletics has a tradition of being champions. Look at all the sports out there. I saw reports today of hockey doing well at Ohio State, both on the men's and women's side. Baseball is hopefully going to start being more successful over the next few years. Not saying they haven't been successful, but you look to have a trend of success and to make deep college baseball World Series runs. Softball, same thing. Tennis, club football. I think all of us collectively expect Ohio State athletics to be competing for championships, conference championships, and national championships. And the fact that Ohio State hasn't competed for a Big Ten championship in quite a while should annoy every Ohio State sports fan. And the fact that they missed the tournament for the third straight year should annoy you too. It doesn't sit well with me that we're sitting here right now right after the selection show was on the CBS, and we're talking about having the same conversation once again. It's a conversation about the energy and effort that at Ohio State. Does Ohio State have the talent to make the tournament? Absolutely. There's nobody sitting here right now that is going to say that. And if they do, I think there's enough data on the team right now with the way certain players have played and the team played collectively at times to show that, yeah, they should make the tournament. Okay, cool. So the talent is there. If the talent is there, do they have the coaching? That may be a question mark. Diebler's only had one full season as Ohio State head coach, didn't make it this year. And I think at times Diebler was not the problem. I think at times the players were the problem. So the question mark for the coach, I mean, I'm going to give him a pass. It's his first year as a head coach in college basketball, so I'll give you a pass. The talent is there. Has the recruiting been there? No. Do they have a roster constructed in a way for them to make the tournament? Yes. I mean, Ohio State's checking a lot of boxes, but the recruiting piece is big. Same thing we talk about on football all the time. If you're not recruiting like a tournament team, and the construction of your team year after year after year is not constructed in a way that's going to put you into the tournament, then you're going to have an issue. Now, Diebler's coming into Ohio State after Holtmann, and Holtmann has some issues at Ohio State. I like Chris Holtmann as an individual. I really do. Did some great things in here with that Butler. Coming to Ohio State early in his tenure was good, but it seemed like something he was doing wasn't translating to the basketball court. Okay. For Diebler next year, this should be a learning period. A learning period that should lead to success next season. Do you need to go into the portal to get some more stuff? Absolutely. Do you need some more money via NIL from the collectives to get things done? Maybe. I mean, Ohio State's boosters got money, so I'm not going to sit up here and say like Ohio State's a school that's struggling financially to get guys to come to school. I really don't think that at all. But if I'm a guy in the portal, would I go to Ohio State? Or if Bruce Pearl called me, would I want to go down there? Would I want to go to Ohio State? Or, unfortunately, if Dusty May called me, would I want to go up there? I think Ohio State right now isn't just dealing with the aftermath of the Holtmann era. You're dealing with a lot of teams around the country that have quality coaches that are already going to go to the portal to reload and to stay at the top in their conference and to compete for a deep tournament run into next year. So for Ohio State, this has to be a turning point in the program. You don't want to make it 4 years in a row. That's not even a Holtmann problem. That's an Ohio State basketball problem because for some reason, this team has just kind of wet the bed of late. I mean, at the end of the year, I'm going to close up shop here quickly. A loss to Iowa, a loss on the road at Indiana. Okay, cool. Before that, there was an overtime win, double overtime win over Nebraska and a road win at USC. Lost to UCLA, lost to Northwestern, lost to the team up north, win over Washington. That should have happened. Then you lose to Nebraska. You lose to Maryland. I mean, so you beat Maryland, which is a really good team. It kind of surprised me when that happened. But when it really mattered, when it's winning time in college basketball, late February into March, Ohio State didn't have a winning formula. And here we are once again discussing Ohio State basketball. Now making the NCAA tournament. This has to be a turning point. Recruit players that play at an all-time high with their energy and effort and their hustle. Yeah, the talent is going. They got the talent, but energy, effort, and hustle, those three things were not consistently on the court for Ohio State for a full 40 minutes. It's a big reason why Ohio State is on the outside of the big dance instead of getting an invite to play in the biggest tournament every single year. Thank y'all for tapping Locked On Buckeyes, making this bonus episode a part of your day. For your second listen, go ahead and check out Locked On College Basketball. That's the only place you need to go to get your bracket perfect for the big dance. Starts on Tuesday with the first four. And then also, the big dance first round of the NCAA tournament begins on Thursday. Go to Locked On College Basketball and Locked On Buckeyes. They're both available on the YouTube and wherever you get your fine podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been a bonus episode of Locked On Buckeyes. We'll see you next time.